All right, so it's a great day for Esteban Ocon haters. If you hate Esteban Ocon, then buy yourself a beer today because Esteban Ocon is going to be leaving Alpine after the 2024 F1 season. Personally, I don't understand why they're keeping him around until the end of the season. If I was them, I would try to bring up another young driver to try to take that spot, especially because Esteban Ocon isn't really giving you points. Two, you can develop a new driver, and three, the difference between 8, 9, and 10 this year is going to be tiny. I don't think they're going to be able to catch Haas at number 7. It seems like 6 and 7 are solidly, Red Bull 2 and Haas. And Red Bull 2 might even overstep Aston Martin, but that's a different conversation. And you need those extra millions of dollars and the fact that you're just keeping this guy around. But on the other hand, Alpine, it does have Renault money, so they're not really strapped for cash. But, the I just want to talk about why I hate Esteban Ocon. So, I made a video for people who've been following this channel for a while. Most unlikable F1 drivers. I didn't want to give myself a fake, view by linking the actual video. And I listed Esteban Ocon as number one. Pierre Gasly is my number 2. I want them to fire him also, but one win at a time. And the real reason why I hate Esteban Ocon is because he got Otmar fired. And Otmar was the most likable team principal in Formula One, in my opinion. And by the way, he's not just likable; he also did a really good job, right? And he brought Esteban Ocon to no, he didn't. It was Cyril who brought him to Alpine, but they were doing great things together. And then Esteban Ocon fired the dude, got the dude fired, right? Him and Pierre Gasly both, and they both thought we can get Otmar fired and then we'll get somebody else and performance will stay the same or might even get better. But what they don't realize is that no, Otmar was the reason why performance was so good on the team, and by firing him, we all see what happened. The car became terrible. The drivers were at each other's throats constantly. And the problem with Esteban Ocon, the reason why I put him above Gasly, because Gasly is the one who really stabbed Otmar in the back because he was brought in by Otmar. He was given a chance, and then he literally just stabs this dude in the back and gets him fired. The reason why I put Otmar number 1 as the most unlikable F1 driver is because he causes these problems wherever he goes, right? Pierre Gasly, if you look at his career so far, when he was at Red Bull with Max, there were no issues between him and Max. And then when he went back into Red Bull 2, and he was paired with Yuki, he became a mentor for Yuki, right? Him and Yuki had a great relationship, right? And then he goes to Alpine, and these two keep on butting heads, right? But then you also look at other teammates with Esteban Ocon, right? When he was with Checo Perez and him did not get along. They kept on crashing into each other. It cost them a huge amount of points that season, probably 1 or 2 places in the Constructors' Championship. And, at the time, it was okay, is this Ocon or is this Perez, right? And then what happened, right? Perez was with Lance Stroll. Him and Lance Stroll did not have any issues. And then Perez went to Red Bull, and him and Max are now a perfect teammates, right? The only issue with Perez is that he's not performing as well, but him and Max are not crashing into each other. And then you see Fernando Alonso. I know that Fernando Alonso has his whole reputation, right? But look at him the past few years, right? When he was with Lance Stroll, did he is he crashing with Lance Stroll? Is there any sort of tension there? No, but him and Esteban Ocon absolutely hate each other. So you look at all these instances, and it's clear that the common thread throughout all these problems is Esteban Ocon. And I think this, and by the way, he also him and Max got into it when he crashed into Max. When he was being lapped by Max, he tried to get himself unlapped, which I don't even really understand, because if you get yourself unlapped by Max, don't you get blue lights again and you still have to give the position back? It doesn't make any sense. This guy is just a prick. Everybody hates him, and I'm so happy to see him go. Now, by the way, I just realized while I was talking about this, because Otmar did fire him from Racing Point, so maybe he got Otmar fired as an FU back, which it wasn't Otmar who, it wasn't his decision. He just got Lawrence Stroll's money, had to bring in Lance, had to choose between the two of them, and Checo just brought more money in. So if So if Ocon like got Otmar fired just because he was salty about what happened at Racing Point, that just shows just how much more of a dick he is. Finally, what I think is that's really funny about Ocon, hopefully this is the last that we ever hear of him at the end of this season, although again I hope he gets fired before then, is that like the funny thing about him is that in season 1 of Drive to Survive, they really try to make him into the protagonist because he was one of the few drivers who did not come from an extremely wealthy background. Right, like it's kind of hard to root for Lance Stroll because he has his dad, Max Verstappen, his dad. Even Lando Norris, his dad is a multi-millionaire. Esteban Ocon was one of the few people on the grid who didn't come from like hundreds of millions of dollars. So they kind of thought like, oh, this guy is a guy that we could make into a sympathetic character. But turns out, no, he's not. He's not a sympathetic character. He thinks he's Max Verstappen, but he's really like Nicholas Latifi. Man, I hate this guy so much. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, follow me on X. And if you hate Esteban Ocon, it's a great day for you.